what is David Hasselhoff up to? I saw him on the Kelly Clarkson show. I saw a clip today, and he sang a theme song for her. He made a theme song with her band.
About her?
Yeah, it's like, this is a Kelly Clarkson show.
I didn't know he was a Vales. We should get him on.
Yeah. If anyone knows him personally or a contact or anyone.
I think that the podcast will naturally make its way to him.
It will. Yeah. I mean, it better because I'm hot for Hoff, and that is a hashtag that we won't use anywhere because I'm bad with hashtags, but just know that it exists. I'm Nicole Mackey.
I'm ZJ Hadley. You're listening to a recap podcast drowning in nostalgia.
Welcome to Baywatchers. That was one of the delights of watching this in the context of being an adult woman, is that I never really thought, oh, this is a hot man, because he was old when I was a child. And now that I'm like probably older than even the age he was in this show, wow.
Wow. I'm also thinking, wow. Maybe not the same wow. I did write down one of my notes from this episode is, I don't know how old any of these people are.
Can I read you what I wrote?
Yeah.
And this made me laugh so hard. And also I was like, we have to bring this up. Do I have age blindness? I can't tell how old anyone is.
Okay, I'm so relieved because the young person in this episode, I feel like they're inferring she's younger, but are these two people the same age? Are they both young? Are they both old? I don't know.
I feel like I could only tell by like the texture of her skin, but the amount of makeup she had and like the hair she had was aging her significantly.
But we need to also dig into like young people in the 80s also just looked old.
Yeah. And old people looked really old. I couldn't tell at first. And then I think you get some context clues where like she's a child, like she's 16 or 17 or maybe younger. I don't even know.
I don't know if we do know that because I think she also might be an adult psychopath who's just still under her parents' care.
Oh.
What was that thing? Maybe she's under a conservatorship,
right?
But like for poor people.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't poor.
Regular people.
Yeah,
they're
people.
middle class, upper middle class.
Yes,
they live near the beach.
Yes,
in Southern California. Can I share a fun fact with you? So my very first like intro into Baywatch was watching an episode in the mid-90s with my family because there was a guest star, and that guest star was, her name was Jean, and she lived in our community, and we went to school with her kids, and she was born Jean Hasselhoff. So I know David Hasselhoff's sister, or knew at some point. Yeah,
genuine
isn't that exciting?
Wow. Wait, but that also means we can probably get him on the pod.
Well, I don't know her anymore. We can maybe get her. Oh, this is a question I had.
Yeah.
Do you think the cast of Baywatch did real lifeguard training?
Oh, I mean, that brings in the whole overarching question of like, is this a realistic depiction of lifeguards at all?
Yeah.
Because I've never seen a beach this busy. I've never really seen a lifeguard do anything. These guys have helicopters. They have boats. I mean, some of that might be the Coast Guard, but like, I've just never seen this robust of a lifeguarding operation.
It's also so much more like bureaucracy than I would have imagined. Like there's so much paperwork. I guess like if someone almost dies on your beach or a boat explodes, you have to fill out a report. I get it. Theme song, thumbs up or thumbs down?
I loved it.
I love it.
I downloaded a punk remix of the theme song and I've been listening to it. It's just a part of my playlist now.
I like it as is.
Yeah, I needed more. I have the whole soundtrack and also a punk remix.
Oh my God, amazing.
This is the first fucking scene of this unbelievably good TV series. Hasselhoff, Mitch, talking to his son Hobie, a real name that I looked up, of German origin. This child who purports to be 13 is asking his dad, he's saying, this woman, this girl, asked me to put some suntan oil, because this was pre-skin cancer. This was before skin cancer was invented.
Right.
She was asking him to lather up suntan lotion, sun oil on her back. And he was asking his dad, like, what he should do if that happens again.
I wrote down what the advice is.
Oh, what is it?
It's totally 80s dad advice. It's, you're 13, right? Try it. See what you think. Which isn't bad advice.
Unbelievable.
It's not bad, right?
No, not really.
But it's not it's all, I don't know. It's like also not great.
I feel like if it was my child, I would have said like, what do you want to do?
Right. Does it make you uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Also, don't you think it's a bit atypical from the 80s? Because it's like a dad and his son having like what I would consider quality time. Yeah, a conversation. I mean, it's about girls mostly and school and stuff.
Okay, but I did note down that Hoff does say I love you to his son in this TV show. And I was like, I didn't know parents in the 80s knew how to say that.
Does it count when it's like, I love you, son?
He didn't say son.
Oh, he didn't? He just says,
no,
I love you?
think the kid says, it's later in the episode, but I think the kid says, I love you, Dad. And he goes, I love you.
Oh.
It was like meaningful. And I was like, wow, what a groundbreaking show.
And on a very big day for Mitch Buchanan. Like,
yes.
It is day one, lieutenant of the lifeguards. Yes. Whatever that means. Whatever it sounds fancy.
Does mean. I have a lot of questions about what that means because a lifeguard is a teenager you pay to sit next to a pool and maybe do CPR once in their life.
Yeah.
And a lieutenant is part of the army?
Yeah, the military, some kind of military situation. Well, I do think, you know how there's the place next door that's like the private beach club?
Beach club.
Yeah, and there's like some drama there. They are private, and that guy is like their private lifeguard.
What guy?
And wait, this guy.
G'day. How are you? Mackay.
Trevor Cole, shark fighter and virgin converter.
I've lost 1 or 2 fights, but only to the sharks.
What is virgin converter an appropriate name for this episode?
Yes. And it also might put it on my cards. Shark fighter and virgin converter?
They're both great nicknames.
These are our flares.
Yeah, these are flares. Okay, but that guy, the virgin
Trevor.
converter, VC is like a private lifeguard next door. But I feel like the Baywatch people are, it's like a government agency or something. Yeah, it has to be, right? Where do they get a helicopter? Where do they get these trucks? Where do they get all the money and stuff? So it has to come from the state.
It definitely is state run. Like, I've been, you live in California. I've been to California. There's lots of beaches and they have those little hut things with the lamps, like the Baywatch towers.
Yeah, someone had to put them there.
I've never seen anyone in one.
Really?
Yeah. So we get this scene about oiling up this. I want to also say, for when I originally heard it, I was picturing for some reason him just talking about like a fluffy haired 80s lady.
Yeah, like a T-sperm 80s lady.
He's just not quite old enough to be lotioning up a cougar. But it is an age appropriate girl because there's a later scene when she asks him again and he panics. He goes into fight or flight. He freezes. And then another little boy comes and he's like, I'll do it for you. And then he does a terrible job.
You know who that boy is, right?
No.
That's Brian Austin Green.
Holy crap.
From Beverly Hills 90210, who's married Megan.
The Stallion?
No, that's what I was thinking, but it wasn't. It's the other Megan from Transformers. Yes.
Oh, wow. I can't believe I got it on 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I went, well, holy shit. And they're both young. Brian Austin Green looks older because Hobie looks like a 13-year-old, 8-year-old. Yeah. He is very underdeveloped, I guess you would say.
So is Brian Austin Green in this series or was this just a cameo?
I don't know. This
like
is
a bit part.
Like if he is in it, I want to be delighted and surprised every time he shows up. But he had a, and it's not even a cameo. It's just like a tiny part because he wasn't even famous yet. But let's continue with talking about Mitch.
Yeah.
Let's talk about like his storyline a little bit because he's the main character, Mitch Buchanan, played by David Hasselhoff. This is what I wrote for storyline A. A feather-haired David Hasselhoff struggles with a new, fancier job on the beach and subsequently having to wear real shoes while simultaneously learning to co-parent with his ex-wife, who is played by the fabulous Wendy Malick.
Yeah, in badass shoulder pads zoot suit. And the only way I knew this all took place in the same day is that she's wearing that suit jacket the whole day.
Yeah, this episode, you'll be 3/4 of the way through it. You go, is this still the same day?
Yeah.
And it is. The answer is yes.
I legitimately thought at one point, oh no, I got so engrossed, I continued watching into a second episode. And it was the same episode.
Yeah, it had just changed days.
No, it just so much happened, but it was too much.
I feel like they really made her out to be a bitch, which I expect. There's going to be stuff in this show that's going to be very upsetting to us, but I'm also watching this through the lenses of this was made in 1989 and like this is just how it is. We can't fix it. Maybe someday they'll remake the show and do all the things a little bit better, but for now we just have to put up with some of that crap, you know.
We can learn from it.
And we have.
Yeah, but if you want to talk about Mitch, our boy Hoff, we can't talk about him without talking about before he gets his fancy lieutenant outfit.
Yeah.
He's wearing those little red short shorts.
Yeah, he is.
And they reveal that the lifeguards get to provide their own bathing suits, apparently, as long as they're red. So they chose these shorts. And they're so little. And I just want to say, if you're a man and you're listening to this podcast, like, bring it back.
Absolutely.
I want short shorts. I want to see your upper thigh.
I do feel like, okay, the pendulum swings, right, in like trends.
Yeah.
So like the pendulum was here in the 80s, short shorts. During like the 90s, it's kind of like the basketball shorts kind of become popular, and that had a few decades, and those are very long, you know. And now the pendulum swinging back with like, are they called chubbies? Those like men's swim shorts?
I don't know. I've never heard that phrase before.
Yeah, and I think they're shorter. Like they're more of a short than like a basketball short. So I think they're coming back. And also I will say, growing up, a friend of the family's was like an EMT, and he wore navy short shorts, like very short shorts with his uniform. So I think it's also like, it's like an 80s life-saving.
Why as an EMT would you need to be in short shorts? That's different. EMTs are inland.
Well, he was like a helicopter one. So I think you didn't have to, he could wear shorts sometimes. Or maybe that was like when he was off duty, but he would still wear the polo.
So you just had a crush on your neighbor's dad?
No, I didn't have a crush. I just, my family spoke of his short shorts. Well, it was a topic in my family.
They were legendary.
They were legendary. It would be, my mom would come back from the supermarket and be like, I saw so-and-so and his short shorts. And we'd all be like, ha ha ha.
But he only had one pair and he wore them all the time?
No, I think they were all short.
Oh, wow. Good. Get it. I'm not disparaging that at all. I'm on board.
It just wasn't.
There's nothing feminine about wearing short shorts.
No, especially.
We can see your masculinity in the short shorts.
Yeah. Not even just like I love a thick thigh. I love a masculine thick thigh.
I love a thigh. And I also love, some people are forearm girls. I'm not a forearm girl. I am a thigh girl for sure, but also chest hair. And like this TV show really is going to be an exotic adventure for yours truly, because the chest hair is almost too much.
It's abundant.
It is abundant. Do you think it's all real?
Yeah.
They just cast hairy guys? Or do you think guys were like beefing up their chest hair because it was the thing?
Like they wore merkins around their nips?
Is it
No, I think it's real.
That's a real question.
I think it's real.
Or do you think now I'm so desensitized because so many men maintain their chest hair now?
Yes, I think it's that. It's like you think this looks fake because so many men are waxing or shaving their chest when this is the reality. Ugh, I haven't even noticed the chest hair. Is that weird?
Yeah.
I noticed people were topless.
I noticed did enough for both of us.
Okay.
I wrote it down in all caps.
Chest hair.
Just chest hair. And I'm really excited for more chest hair to be revealed.
Yeah.
Bring back the 80s except for all of the other parts. Just bring back the short shorts. And
chest hair.
I would also like to see more arcades.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
I miss hanging out in an arcade.
Okay, people are going to be topless in the show. They're on a beach. They're lifeguards. It's going to happen. But here's also like, I wrote down ways that people are topless because it's not just that they are, like, they also become topless. So we have a scene where Craig, who we haven't really talked about yet, but we'll get into him. He takes off his shirt in a rage and he throws it at a car. Like,
he throws it at his car, which I do have questions about. His car is under a pier.
Yeah.
Sinking. Like the tide is coming in and taking his car. And he calls his boss and he's like, hey, and they have, this is again, everyone in this TV episode underreacts to everything. He's like, hey, my car's like taking on water. I'm stuck under the pier. And the boss is like, you better put down your windows so they don't shatter. And then they both laugh. And like that's a car that costs money.
Okay. In the life of a lifeguard, isn't that a huge fuck up? You don't know when the tide's coming in. Yeah. I
thought that too. I'm like, you're the one guy who should know.
You should know. Also, he's a lawyer. Like, you be smarter, sir. You're not like some burnout lifeguard, like stereotypical, like smoking weed and just like, I'm here for the chicks, man. Like the guy, the virgin converter. He's like supposedly a very smart man, and he's going down under the pier during high tide.
Doing what?
Fucking around, not lawyering.
No, it was unbelievable. And neither of them are phased. And I know I probably took the wrong message from this show, but like I was watching that being like, picturing how much my stomach would sink about how much shit I was going to get in at work. I guess he doesn't care because he's also somehow a lawyer.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I don't even actually work here. This whole thing is a liability. Why did you let me have these keys?
I don't actually work here. He's like,
he's a lawyer.
I know. He's like, fire me. I dare you. First of all, I'll sue you. Second of all, I don't need this paycheck. I do it for the passion. Back to Mitch. Well, we learn that Wendy Malick's character, his ex-wife, is petitioning for full custody of the child, filing for full custody of the child.
Yeah.
This is also happening on the same day where he's being promoted, or he's been promoted. He's now lieutenant of his job.
Yeah.
This is a lot for one man on one day, I feel like. And yet
he takes it all in stride.
Oh, it's just being lobbied about. And he's just like, oh, let me just see what I can do here and fix this problem and make sure these people feel great. And I think he's good.
I think he's at his job.
Yeah.
I think he's okay for the first day. Yeah.
He's good.
I mean, considering that there are 2 fatal incidents on his beach in the same day, including his dearest friend.
Yeah.
And almost his son.
Okay.
I think he does a great job.
He does also kind of get like his asshole, or his ass handed to him, a new asshole ripped. He gets kind of chewed out by his boss.
Yeah.
For not doing a good job. So I guess maybe he's not doing the best, but he's trying. And also he's well-liked.
He hasn't had time to iterate on that feedback yet.
Yeah, true.
Stuff's coming at him fast.
It's coming at him hard and fast, and it's like, fire your friend. I don't want your kid on the beach. Don't get in the water. And he's like, I'm a lifeguard, sir. What do you mean?
Yeah. No, on that one I am on his side, because it's like, you know, when you're driving, they say like uncertainty is worse than like take the turn or don't take the turn, but don't hesitate, because that's what causes accidents.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a lifeguard situation, which I don't know anything about, but I imagine that it's similar in that like you're supposed to be at the command center, you're supposed to be the boss.
Yeah.
So you getting in the water is confusing. It's not helpful.
Yeah.
Like, really. Then again, his son is drowning in a boat explosion for one of those incidents.
Yeah.
So like I get it. I would also go in there, but
yeah.
He does have his swim shorts under the lieutenant uniform, which indicates to me that he was always planning to do that. And also, wouldn't they have been bunched up?
Yeah.
And also, his ex-wife is talking about how she wants full custody on the basis that he spends too much time at the beach and it's having a negative influence on their 13-year-old.
Yeah.
But like, he's a lieutenant. Like, he's crushing it at the lifeguard game.
Yeah. Well, they just made her be rude because they're like, this woman has to be rude, so no one likes her.
She's a harpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a reputable, good job that he should be proud of and his son should be proud of. Why do you think him and the wife got divorced? We don't know that, right?
No, but I would imagine it's because his true love is the ocean.
Their vibes aren't matching up. We know this from her zoot suit, like you mentioned. Like she just is so stringent and all hard lines, and he's like shirt off, hair's wet, wind blown.
They act like he's a beach bum, but I didn't really buy it.
Interesting. Say more.
I don't know. He just didn't give beach bum to me. He gives like responsible dad.
Well, he's the lieutenant. He is like he's the parent of everyone on the beach.
I know, but they're acting like it's a big adjustment. It just doesn't seem like it would be.
Okay. Yeah, copy that.
So then the kid wants the kid to go live with her at least while he's in summer school.
Yeah.
And so the kid's upset about this, and so Hoff goes to talk to his friend Al.
Yeah.
And Al is painting in his beautiful beachside mansion that he apparently bought with his. Maybe he's also a lawyer lifeguard.
No,
maybe that's a common.
Al isn't painting. He's creating art.
Oh. Yeah, he is. He's painting this wonderful underwater scene that I did think was a little bit tacky, but like still was impressive. It's a very large painting. I don't know shit all about art either, but I would imagine this man has put 40, 50 hours into that painting. Like, it's elaborate.
Yeah.
And he's at the last part, which is the focal point, which is these fish.
Yeah.
And he says to Hoff, he's like, grab a paintbrush, fill some of these fish in for me. Like, what? And then Hoff grabs this little paintbrush, puts it in some yellow paint, and is just like sort of absentmindedly scooching it across
carelessly.
the canvas.
Ugh.
I would never.
No. That's a man thing. That's like I would be like, someone would be like, here, help me. I'd be like, oh my God, no. Like, please, I couldn't. And then Mitch is just like.
How often do people ask you to just chip in on their oil painting?
It's happened more than you think.
Oh.
No, I know. Probably never. Can we just say poor Al? First of all, R.I.P. Because we know what happens in the Great Boat Explosion. But I do want to say,
in great shape.
He's yeah.
In one of the first of all, he's an artist.
Hang on,
I'm an Al sympathizer. In one of the early scenes, Al is jogging. This guy is fit. He's 4 years before retirement.
Yeah.
And so if we assume the mandatory retirement age was also 65 back in 1989, then he's 61 years old. He is jogging and Hoff rolls up in a Jeep and goes like, hop in. And I'm like, do you think that he's on his way somewhere? He's clearly out for a run. How often do you roll up to someone who's actively exercising and be like, oh, you don't need to do that. I have a car.
Yeah, he has like a towel around his neck, like a sweat towel. Yeah.
He's jogging.
He's in his jogging shorts.
And he's jogging on the beach. Have you ever jogged on the beach? It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, he's in good shape. I also think the pitch of your voice when you said hang on was like too much. And I think, and you have a weird thing for Al, and that's fine.
Oh, did I break the recording though?
No, it was just very funny. It became like a squeak, and I could tell you were very passionate.
I honestly couldn't believe, you should see my nose around at one point I realized he's going to die. And I go, and it was before the boat explosion, but there was foreshadowing. And I just said, I wrote down, oh my God, is this old guy going to die?
Oh my God. What was the foreshadowing that he was like, I don't want to be retired. I want to live my life how I loved it with my lady of the night
sea
or whatever. Yeah.
It was later than that, but it was on the boat. There was just some eerie foreshadowing, but poor boat maintenance stuff happening.
Oh, good for you.
I think he was talking to the little kid and he was like, I'll never die. Not as long as I'm on a boat. And I was like,
oh, you're going to die on a boat.
Soon.
Oh my God. Okay, but let's also, good for him that he's hot and old. Let's also feel sorry for him. You didn't have to say it with your words.
For a 61-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so good for him, but also sad for him because like the big thing with Mitch and Al's relationship is like Mitch is trying to force him to retire because that's what he has to do as his first day as lieutenant, which is so insane. Yeah. And so that is sad for him. And it is sad he dies at the end too. And it's not only
sad, it's discriminatory.
Yeah.
Because it's overt ageism.
But if you can't physically do your job.
He does physically do it. He's jogging on the beach.
Yes, but then when it comes time for him to go in the water when all those people are being pulled out in the rip current,
in the riptide,
he hesitates.
I think I missed that scene, but later on he says, oh, I got there late.
But he did get there late, but also it was like I think he doubted himself. Like he sees all the young people running in there and he's kind of like, I don't know if I am.
But maybe they got in his head because everyone's overtly telling him what a useless old man he is who should just die.
What an old piece of shit he is and he should just drown himself in the ocean. Rude.
Can we go back to the parent while we're still on plot A?
Yeah.
If we go back to the parenting. So what's her name? Wendy Malick has a real lot of audacity judging Lieutenant Buchanan for his parenting because she at one point goes to pick up their son from school and she comes over and she saunters up into the beach to Mitch and she goes, I went to pick Hobie up from school and he wasn't there. She is not concerned.
No, there's no terror in her voice.
Your child is either young enough that you need to pick them up from school or old enough that you're not worried when they're missing. Which is it? Al takes Hobie, the son, out onto the boat to comfort him for a fishing trip. The boat explodes. A guy is switching a propane tank for some reason. Maybe I'm assuming like a stove or something, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't screw it up all the way. Gas is actively and audibly leaking out. And he right there in the same area lights a match and the whole boat repeatedly explodes. Multiple explosions all over this boat. And somebody's screaming, get off the boat. I think it's Al screaming, get off the boat, get off the boat, get away from the boat. And everybody gets away. And the boat explodes.
Yeah.
And Hobie is trapped under the hull of the boat. I don't know what boat parts are called. He's trapped under a part of the boat where there's an air pocket, but he's fully underwater.
Yeah.
And Al goes down there to get him. Mitch is out here by now, and Mitch goes down there.
Yeah.
Also, they get some scuba tanks. They're able to get everybody out, but Al gets tangled in a rope and dies.
Yeah.
Which also, given his experience, I was really surprised by, because shouldn't you check to make sure before he went under the water? Shouldn't he have? Because he had air.
Okay. Also, is this insane? But like, if you are a lifeguard, shouldn't you have like a sheath with like a knife in it or something for this exact, like people's surf cords and shit get caught on there. So what the fuck? Why didn't he have like a little knife to cut himself loose?
I used to kayak, and you have to have a little safety kit with you that has like a rope and a knife and stuff.
Put it on your ankle, like a little ankle knife, you know, like a cute little ankle knife he needs, or a thigh knife. I don't know where he'd put it, but I'm surprised he didn't have one. And obviously that was so sad. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, they're not going to kill this guy off. It's the first episode.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
And then he's fucking dead. And I'm like, oh my God.
They show his like vacant, drowned body.
Yeah, that was upsetting.
It was upsetting. And so then that plot line ends at the end. They have Al's funeral, which Mitch Hoff broadcasts from a mic on the back of a boat while everyone else is on shore. Not sure how that worked. And but what I couldn't get over, maybe the most upsetting thing I saw the whole time, and one of the plots is about a teen seducing a grown man, but this was more upsetting to me because Hobie is on the boat.
Yeah.
Hobie's on a boat. Yesterday, Hobie was in a boat explosion.
Yeah.
Don't make Hobie go back on a boat. Let your child have one day off. Like, I just couldn't believe. I mean, maybe it was a few days later because it was a funeral, but like, that kid's not scared of boats now. He was in a boat explosion. Everybody brushes it off.
I know. Why did this just pop into my head? Boats and hobes. Boats and hobes.
Slaps. It slaps. That could be our theme song.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, that was really upsetting. Don't put this child like, Mitch is an adult. There's trauma happening all around him all the time. This is his job and his life. But it's like, don't bring your child into this. And yet, obviously, they're setting up that this is his path. Like, he's not traumatized by this. He's going to follow in his dad's footsteps.
The kid?
Yeah, this is what the whole episode is about. Like, he wants to be his dad.
Yeah, and that's going to cause continued drama between him and Wendy Malick.
Yeah. Or she'll be gone after the first episode. We don't know.
No, I looked up who she was because I recognized her voice, and it did say she's on. Should I tell you, or do you want to be surprised?
No, just tell me.
She's on for 4 seasons.
Oh, wow. Good for her.
I don't know what happens to her after that, but she's on for the next. So we've got time.
Good for her.
If he had pulled Al off of active duty, if that's what they call lifeguarding, and put him on a desk job, he wouldn't have died.
So was Mitch's boss right all along?
He still would have, actually. Maybe he still would have, because he wasn't working when that happened. He was just on a fishing trip with the kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he could have been painting at home and had been completely unaware.
Yes. So anyway, his death is definitely Hoff's fault.
Ooh. Hot take. Okay.
So that's plot A.
Yeah. Let's talk about the B storyline, because this is my I think this is my favorite storyline. It's also the most 80s because it has to do with like, it's okay to tempt young women, and like it's good to have hot young women interested in you. It feels like the vibe of the 80s to me.
Yes.
Okay.
And not just interested in you, but that this 16-year-old, we think maybe girl, is aggressively, psychotically seducing you.
Yes.
And I feel like this is what like men who sleep with teenage girls want people to believe is what happened. But I don't think it's what really happens.
No.
I don't think it's what really happens.
No. And yeah, I feel like, okay, this is what I wrote for the explanation. A completely made up lawyer guard, because he is sometimes a lawyer, sometimes a lifeguard, gets single white femaled by a teenager who looks both 12 and 30, which is, I think that's just exactly what happens.
Yes.
She's maybe committing suicide, but probably not, and maybe just like loses her footing, but is also having like some kind of episode, like a depressive episode about her dad.
Yes. Well, okay, so the story, spoilers if you haven't seen the pilot of Baywatch.
Yeah.
Don't know what you thought was going to happen when you put this podcast on.
Yeah, I feel like that's a given. We should just put that in the show notes.
Yeah. Her storyline, according to her mom, eventually, what comes out is that she's been in the hospital because she is a psychopath.
Yeah.
And she gets violent. And the mom says, like, oh no, it's happening again. She just got out of the hospital yesterday.
Yeah.
So your psychotic murder daughter gets out of being held against her will at a psychiatric facility.
Yeah.
She comes home, you lose sight of her immediately.
Yeah.
She didn't even notice that her daughter didn't come home that night.
Can Psychotic Murder Daughter be our punk band? Like our metal band? Isn't that such a good name?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but that was weird. Also, why'd they release her if she's still like what signs was she giving you that she was okay to be released?
Yeah. But released without any supervision whatsoever? Like, surely she was released into her mother's, is it reconnaissance? Is that a word?
Care.
Her mom was supposed to keep tabs on her. Her mom was supposed to know if she didn't come home at night the day after she got let go out of the hospital.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a blunder. But I do think that this TV show gives a pretty accurate representation of parenting in the 80s.
Yeah, just everybody's out for themselves and on their own.
Do you know where your child is?
No. I would never.
Okay, so yeah.
Craig, we talked about how his like cars under the pier saves her. She gets obsessed.
Yeah.
She goes into the I also didn't realize, and this feels very obvious and also dumb at the same time, where it's like, oh, there's like a whole office for the lifeguards there.
Yes.
It's like the headquarters of the beach.
Yes. I think that does exist. I think I know where that is.
Okay.
In Venice, at least. I think I've seen that.
That makes sense. But yeah, I guess all beaches would have one. That if there's lifeguard towers, you would have some sort of like area that's like their break room and like where they change.
Yeah, and I think a medical center, and I think some like beach related paperwork has to happen there.
Yeah.
But there is a medical center. I have a couple of things to say about the medical issue, actually.
Okay.
So one is that a woman lifeguard is tending to Lori, the psycho. And I feel like I don't want that voice clip to get out. Maybe I'm not supposed to call her that. Anyway, this troubled teen is being taken care of by a lifeguard, and that lifeguard is indoors, away from the beach, in a medical area, wearing a high cut bathing suit.
Yeah.
Love it. But I also made a note that when Craig comes in, so when Craig's saving her, he gets smashed up against the pier, which I assume is covered in like barnacles and stuff, which are really sharp, or muscles, and his back is gushing blood. He's just walking around, just pouring blood. And I was like, someone put a bathing suit on this fucking man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want your blood.
A towel. Give him a towel. There's got to be towels around here.
And then he's wet still.
Yeah.
No one has even dried him off, let alone put a Band-Aid or some disinfectant on him. And then he's wearing a jacket. And I kept thinking about how much the jacket would be rubbing on your back scratches.
Oh my God. And there's fucking sand and salt water in there. Like,
at least.
I hate this. Yeah. And then, but this is like the big dick swinging of the show. You know, it's like all the dudes are just like more than competent to be.
Guys, is it gay to use a Band-Aid when you're bleeding?
Is that why you think they didn't use it in the 80s?
Is that what you're asking? You just said it was the dick swinging, and I just don't see what about putting a Band-Aid on would diminish your masculinity in any way, but I don't really get it.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't understand that. But yeah, it does feel like, oh yeah, we don't want to show any like everything has to be super hyper toxically masculine in the show, or else it isn't part of the show.
Yeah. In this same area, someone is talking about women. I think they're talking about the party that they're going to go to later. And somebody says like, oh yeah, there's going to be so many chicks there, you know, hips, lips, and fingertips.
Ew.
Yeah.
Hips, lips,
I don't know what it means,
fingertips.
but it's gross.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. There's some weird, one of the lines I wrote down, this is just like fully random, but also this clarifies how this was a totally different time. You want a babysitter, you hire one for $2.50 an hour.
Oh my God, yes.
What?
Yeah.
$2.50 an hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
In 1980, $89?
Yeah, that was what Babysitters made. Okay, this is also very 80s of the time. I just wrote down Bad Girls Smoke with an exclamation point because that's Lori's. It's so uncomfortable watching her smoke a cigarette, first of all, because it's like, oh, this actor has never done this in her life. And also it's like a character device to be like, isn't she bad? Isn't she unhinged and unwell?
But she doesn't seem into it.
Well, no, because I don't know that her acting's like, and I don't want to disparage her, but she was like a very young, maybe 30-year-old. But like, I feel like we're gonna run into this in every episode where someone's acting is like not up to par with everyone else.
Well, it wasn't Al.
No, it was Al was giving everything he had. Most of the cast is good, but I just feel like I don't know, it just was so put on. But that's part of it because she was a young girl who's like trying to seduce an adult. So
yes, but is smoking bad in 89? Weren't we still pro smoking? Weren't we like smoking so good for you and cool?
Not if you're a child. I think it was still kind of like
I remember a lot of smoky car rides where adults did not seem particularly concerned about the smoke impacting me.
Yeah, but the children aren't supposed to smoke.
Okay, but you still think it's a bad girl thing even when smoking was just like readily accepted? Okay.
Because you still had to be like 18 to smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was still like let's use it. I mean, they use cigarettes to show. Look at Grease and Sandy.
Right, Grease, of course.
Of course.
Look at Grease.
I mean, look at Sandy. Smoking makes her a bad girl.
Did we talk about the pool party?
With the fingertips, lips, and
yeah, but then they go to the party.
Yeah. It's in a basement.
It's in an indoor pool for sure.
There's an indoor pool in this basement that one guy swims in. During the middle of the party, he's not talking to anyone. He just takes off his shirt, dives into the water, and is fucking doing laps, which is the most embarrassing thing I think anyone has ever done.
It's a lifeguard party. It's a pool party.
No one's in the pool. Why? And he's exercising. Why'd you come? Just go to your local pool. Why'd you come to this party with like a band and stuff?
Okay.
You didn't think
you can't listen to some music and swim at the same time. I didn't think that was the weirdest thing about the party. I thought it was weirder that they had a full drum kit on like the stairs that were above the pool. I just thought that's dangerous.
I did not clock that. So clearly we're not on the same page.
Even drinking?
I think so. Yeah, I think people were having drinks.
Okay. So while that guy's swimming laps, I don't know if we're supposed to know who these people are. Was that the crush? Was that the rookie and her crush? Oh,
yeah, he's like the veteran lifeguard that the rookie wants to be paired up with, which also is like, I don't know. It's so like he's brooding. It's like so angsty to me that he's just in the middle of this party doing laps.
Well, I can't tell most of these people apart because all of the women are blonde and all of the men are brunettes.
Yep, curly.
And they have the thickest brown hair. Yeah. But at that party, the rookie who has a crush was watching him swim, and she was wearing a black push-up bathing suit with a denim jacket, and it was fire. It was a great outfit. Like, honestly, I thought I'd be annoyed by the bathing suit stuff, but every single outfit anyone wore was awesome.
Wait, no pants?
No pants. No, she was wearing pants. I don't know what they were.
Oh, but it was like but you could tell it was a bathing suit underneath a jacket.
Yes, Ooh. It was phenomenal. Like a bikini, like a black push-up bikini with a denim jacket over it.
Yes.
Did someone also wears a bomber jacket and a bathing suit? Did we cover that?
No, I love that. I think
it was good.
Yeah. That feels so natural somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. Maybe because they hand out, I think that's like, you see lifeguards in like shiny kind of like windbreakery type jackets.
Yeah, but this was like a leather bomber jacket.
Oh,
like an 80s
excuse me.
Red leather bomber jacket with like the brown cuffs. But she's on a boat. It was clearly a lifeguard jacket, but it was just, at first I was like, why would you ever be wearing a jacket with a bathing suit? And then I was like, well, the wind is probably chilly on the boat. Actually, it's great.
Okay, but also that seems like not a good jacket to be wearing because wouldn't that weigh you down? Like that would be really, although as long as it's not
in the water
down jacket. You don't want an absorption. So maybe the leather's fine.
Down absorb.
Yeah, I think that's how Natalie Woods died.
But geese go in water.
Good point.
We'll look into it.
Okay. Someone, if anybody's a scientist, specifically with textiles, please write in.
Or a really qualified lifeguard.
Or really qualified. We do want to talk to a lifeguard. I also want to talk to, okay, can I just say, I want to talk to someone who's worked on this show, because speaking of being on a boat, the ADR that they do on this show is like, I want to say like 70% of what we're seeing. And ADR, for anyone who doesn't know, is like, that's when the actors, they didn't get good audio when they were filming the scene, so they have to go into a recording booth and say the exact words matched to their face in a recording booth. It's like dubbing their own mouths. And so this episode, I first noticed it when Craig was driving his convertible. What's the license plate?
Swim or die? SWMORDI.
Notice it's not lawyer or die.
No.
He would never.
No.
Okay, because when he's driving, he's talking to his wife on his cell phone or his car phone or whatever, and it is not his car phone. It is not matched up at all, and it's just so, it bothers me so much, and it's kind of like the real true villain of Baywatch for me so far is the ADR. Yeah, but I want to talk to someone who worked on it, because I would be very curious about like how filming it was. Like,
I want to talk to someone who worked on it. Yeah, of course.
But like not that. But like not. I mean, I would love to talk to like someone who was on it in an acting capacity. But I think it would also be fun to just talk to someone who made it from like a production.
I want to talk to the costumer, and I want to know what they still have, and I want to know if I can have it.
Do you think they used you know how in pageants for swimsuit you have to like hairspray your cheeks? Like they have to like glue down. They had to glue down the bathing suits. I bet you. Just like
so that it contours your booty?
So that it doesn't ride up into your butt crack.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You use hairspray and it's sticky, and then you like smooth the bathing suit on it and it sticks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a pageant thing, I think. But I think it's
Did you ever do pageants?
No.
You still could.
Do I read pageant?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Why not?
No, I don't.
I believe in you. We're gonna make this dream come true.
It's not my dream. I don't want anyone thinking that it's my dream.
No, I don't either. I've actually heard they're really aggressive. Like some of them, they kind of con you into it, and then they tell you can't back out because they prepaid for your flight and stuff, and you'd owe them money.
That's why it's a circuit. It's like a pageant circuit, because you just like get caught up in it.
You're telling me that they exploit beautiful women?
What?
In this America?
Oh my God.
I'm aghast.
Yeah.
So that teen tries to seduce him very aggressively, is a psychopath.
Has a cute sweatshirt.
Has a very cute, fluffy yellow sweatshirt. Yeah. Goes to the party, tells the wife that she fucked Craig. She had also, we skipped right over, she showed up at the lifeguard tower and took off all of her clothes.
She was nude. With wine.
With wine, which I did think was really sophisticated. I was like, when I was a 16-year-old, if I was trying to seduce a man who was between 20 and 50, I wouldn't have been sophisticated enough to bring wine.
Yeah.
Which he accepts. This is where he makes some dicey decisions. He took the wine, and then he's like, no drinking on the beach.
But he didn't drink it.
No, but
he took it away from her like, you're a child.
I thought he hesitated. I thought he took one beat too long.
Well, that's
also when she disrobes and he's like, and then another guy shows up and then he's like, don't worry about it. I'm handling this. I would have been like, please stay and bear witness to what's happening right now.
Yeah, but because of the time and because this was like quote unquote normal, that guy's just like, oh, this guy cheating on his wife. I guess I should look away. Like that's what that was. It was like a bro code bullshit thing.
I know, but I would have asked him to stay. I would have been like, well, I have nothing to do with this.
He probably wants people, even though he wasn't like interested in her, he probably wanted people to think look, he's like, oh yeah, she's interested in me. Yeah. I hated that. And that's the problem with him this whole episode is he's never outwardly like, no, I'm married and you're upsetting me. Yeah. He's like, he likes it.
Yeah. And he also waits a really long time to bring up his wife when she asks, so do you have a girlfriend? And he goes, a wife. I'm like, first of all, didn't she see the ring? In one scene, I think it's the Riptide one where they go maybe the Riptide with the daughter goes under the water and one I've just changed subjects
Oh,
totally. But there's a scene where the Riptide people are getting sucked in. A lifeguard comes out and he gives his floaty thing to the mom, and the mom's like, "My daughter went under the water," and the lifeguard goes, "Relax." And then that's the kid they get up on that boat, and then the rookie freezes and doesn't give her CPR.
Yeah.
That was an upsetting scene. And why did they give that rookie the unconscious child to deal with? That did feel like first day. They gave it to these people on their first day, like no easing in at Baywatch.
I know, but also like it's happening in real life, and also weren't you trained for all these scenarios? Like, didn't you just spend weeks, months, even maybe like training to do all of this?
Yeah,
stuff?
totally. But a almost dead kid is a very big deal. Is this what every day at Baywatch is like?
I don't know, but then you know what? Maybe your temperament is not meant to be a lifeguard, because if you do not have a fight sensibility in a fight or flight scenario, you're not a lifeguard. You're not someone who saves people. You have to have that. I'm not as easy on her. I'm not as forgiving.
I agree. Well, listen, she's either 16 or 45, and I don't know which, so I can't judge her harshly. But I did think that was just a lot. Like, that's just intense. Like, I know that it's an intense job, but I don't think you assume that there's going to be so many crises on the first day.
True, and like a near death with a child, sure. Okay, that it is a lot. Yeah. Fair.
And there were 3 other lifeguards on that boat kind of standing around watching to see if she was going to give CPR.
Yeah, the one girl's
there's like 3 long beats where she's like, "What?" And I'm like, someone do something.
The other lifeguard's like, do CPR. It's like, just do it. Just jump in. It shouldn't be a conversation. Like, someone's instincts need to take in. Someone needs to not just look like the adult. They need to be the adult.
They do save that kid, but I still believe that telling the mom to just chill out about it was a bit much.
While we're talking about the rookie, real quick, were you sold a bill of goods vis-a-vis the 80s and 90s of what it meant to be a teen woman, flirty, hot, in the sun, in your Suzuki Samurai, which is the car that she is driving around in the beginning?
I wrote down tiny Barbie Jeep with hearts around it.
It is tiny Barbie Jeep. Yeah, it is so cute. I thought that's what my life was going to be.
Me too.
From like 16 to 25.
Yeah, me too. And you live in California, and we might as well just get this out of the way. I live in Canada.
Yeah.
And so I also still thought that would be my life, but we don't have that. We don't have that here. So I was doubly sold a poor bill of goods, because Canadian television leaves something to be desired. So we grew up on American TV as well.
Okay, but going back to Craig and Lori's storyline, this was also fucked up that like they let her spend the night.
They let her spend the night
after she told the wife he fucked me, blah blah blah.
Yes.
Like,
so she tries to get the wife to believe that. She doesn't buy it because she knows what's up with Craig. Craig has the most beautiful glacial blue eyes. He's not cheating.
I thought she
he almost cheats, but he doesn't.
bought it. She slept on the couch.
She comes around.
Okay, yeah, she comes around.
That was the couch. I thought that was just their awkward, weird bed.
Oh yeah, that was the middle of the room bed. You're right.
Yeah. Okay, so that happens, and then they're in bed.
Yeah.
With the weird statue that is at the headboard just looking at them.
Yeah.
And
in an 80s
they get
mansion.
A phone call.
Yeah.
And this child has gotten their phone number, called, and she says, if you don't come to the lifeguard tower right now, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
And this man gets up and goes. And so, first of all, the wife is like, I'm going with you if you're going.
Yeah.
But I would have been like, if you walk out that door right now, I'm divorcing you immediately. Because if I was at all suspicious that you slept with this teen, you getting up and going to her in the middle of the night is the nail in the coffin. Call 911. Call your boss. Call literally anyone. Also, you're a lawyer. Wait. He's a lawyer. He definitely should know better.
Doesn't the wife also say call the police?
Yes.
Yeah. And he's like,
no,
like,
I started this and I have to finish it or something.
That's the toxic masculinity, and that's the vibe here. It's like, let me do it in myself or whatever.
And so she's more gracious than I am, but I do, like, God bless. Thank God she was there. She goes with him. They get there. They go to this girl. She's got big bruises on her neck. She says, my dad does it. He tries to get into bed with me at night. Yeah. And when I resist, he beats me.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so they put aside all of this deeply troubling behavior. And I'm here for some compassion. I get it. But also, surely someone else can handle this.
You're not allowed in my home.
And it's a danger to them, and also a massive fucking liability to take a teenage girl back to your house.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so they do it anyway. They're like, immediately, all is forgiven. Oh my God, you're just troubled. It's okay. We'll bring you back to my house. Both things can be true. You can be troubled and also a liability that we don't want in our house.
Yep.
They take her home. They put her to bed. Then they start making out. And she's watching them over the banister, and she's so jealous.
Yeah. She's just fuming, coming up with wild ideas of how she's going to kill the wife the next day.
Yes.
Which she attempts.
Then what happens?
They end up like under the pier again, where Craig and Lori's story began.
Yes. He goes to talk to the mom, and the mom reveals that the dad has been dead for 10 years.
Oh my God.
And this is when she says, and she just got out of the mental hospital yesterday.
Yes. Okay.
And she goes, she must be still sleeping. She got in late. And he's like, she's not
She
here.
didn't get in at all. Yeah.
You're doing a terrible job taking care of her.
What do you think? Okay, when I saw that she had those two things on her neck, and I knew she was like crazy and was faking it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, curling iron?
Yeah. Oh, I thought either she just did it with her hands or lipstick or something, but curling iron's brilliant.
Okay, it looked like two
because I have caused that exact burn on my own neck with a curling iron.
And the man's not going to know. She lures the wife down under the pier. She has a knife. She's already left a suicide note at the house. Like, it's bad. And but he shows up and saves everyone, and it's happy. What else? Is there anything from this episode? We've talked pretty much about everything big that happens. Is there anything we're missing, or any like questions you had, or like thoughts you wanted to bring up?
I guess the only thing coming to mind right now, actually, that just occurred to me a little belatedly, I guess, is that I'm really glad it wasn't the virgin converter that rescued her.
Yeah.
Because he would have taken her up.
He would have taken advantage. Yeah. Ew.
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate that.
And that would have been rough.
Oh, there was a weird moment where Craig is helping that lost kid. Do you know this moment?
Yeah.
Why is it? And he's like doing therapy with the kid. It's like a very deep conversation that upset me. I don't remember what it was about, but I just wrote, not the lifeguard having therapy with the lost child.
I don't remember what he says. I just remember him giving him the binoculars and me being like, kids don't know how to use binoculars, you dumb fuck.
And he doesn't. He puts them up upside down and then he flips them.
Yeah.
So,
and then he sees a frazzled looking woman and he's like, oh, it must be her.
Yeah.
Why is that scene in this hour and 35-minute long pilot?
Good question. This is another thing I have. I would love to edit out all of the B-roll of like people on the beach and see how long an episode actually is. If you took out all those like 5-minute long slow-mo transitions, is this just like 45 minutes? Okay, well, if you're down for it, I do just want to very quickly share some fun facts about our very own Mitch, played by David Hasselhoff, because
I want to know if his chest hair is real. Or if it's American.
It's real. No, it's not American. I don't have to look this up. I just feel it in my heart.
Okay.
Okay, but did you know that in 1989, he was awarded, this is the same year Baywatch came out, mind you, okay? He was awarded Most Popular and Best-Selling Artist of the Year in Germany as a music artist, and was invited to perform his song Freedom on the Berlin Wall on New Year's Eve, 1989, just mere months after the wall fell.
Wow.
And it's he's in a light up bomber jacket. He clips something in his
light up like LEDs?
Yes.
This LEDs didn't even exist.
Well, it's like whatever. It's like Christmas lights or whatever. Like,
I feel like it's a jar of fireflies. I don't know what technology was available in 1989.
He had a jacket of fireflies that he wore suspended on a crane over where the Berlin Wall stood.
Shut up.
Yeah, and he has like this huge moment. And then he would go on to have an amazing career as a musician in Europe, but not in the Americas. And this is due in part to two things. First, in 1984, he had released a song here. It's a remake of Do You Love Me, which I'm guessing it's like, Do You Love Me? That song?
Oh, I love that song.
Okay, I'm guessing that's what it is, but I couldn't find it. But it bombed here.
Okay.
And he must be so embarrassed by it. It's nowhere to be found.
It's so surprising to me because he's so famous. Like, I don't understand.
I know why he wouldn't be popular here. I think it's something about, I would say he's a little corny when he's singing. Like, there's like a cheesiness. And I think maybe we don't appreciate that here like they do.
In the 90s, though?
80s and 90s.
He couldn't compete with the Spice Girls.
No, but look how like Tom Jones wasn't huge here like he was in Europe. It's not unusual. That's how David Hasselhoff sings to me. Okay. So it's kind of like a loungy vibe, and I feel like maybe Americans just don't like that. Anyway, okay, 10 years after he released that and it bombed. This was the height of Baywatch fame. So like 1994, he scheduled, and I think like, I don't know if you sell out pay-per-view, but like it got really big numbers. He scheduled a live pay-per-view concert from Atlantic City. Everybody was excited about it. The Hoffs
So he
performing.
invented music streaming.
He invented he invented YouTube.
Doesn't get enough credit for that.
Yeah, he doesn't get enough credit. And it was going well until it was interrupted by O.J. Simpson in his white Bronco getting chased by the police after he allegedly killed. Oh, he's dead now, so we can say he killed those two people. What are we allowed to say?
A lot of conclusive information was published by him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's well known that he probably killed them, most likely.
He wrote a book about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Which they got the money for because they won a civil suit because he definitely killed them.
Oh, really? There was a civil suit?
They got all the money for that because he
well,
owed
not
so
them,
much
but
money.
their estates.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this? That at the height of Baywatch popularity, it was the most widely viewed TV series in the world ever of all time. It was estimated that the weekly audience was 1.1 billion in 142 countries in 1996. So like,
was that 1/8 of all people?
If there's 8 billion,
people are there. Cut that.
No, it's staying.
I don't know how many people there are.
This wasn't, well, we don't know how many people there were in 1996, I think is the bigger issue.
Yeah.
Okay, it covered every continent except Antarctica, which I guess maybe they just didn't have TV there. Oh. The show has been seen in 148 countries and translated into 44 languages. So like, just know that as I tell you this next part.
Okay.
David Hasselhoff is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as, and this is a quote, the most watched TV star in the world, thanks to his starring roles in both Baywatch and, prior to that, Knight Rider, which I think was very popular and I've never seen or heard about, really.
Okay.
I mean, it's vaguely about like a car.
Knight Rider is a TV show that I don't think I've also ever seen, but I believe it's about a man who's like in witness protection or gets a new identity.
A new face.
I'm going to say something crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's about a man who gets a new face and his symbiotic relationship with a AI car.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You could write this show probably because
I'd love to.
That's all it is.
So if you're enjoying this podcast, watch out for our up and coming.
Yeah.
What is it called? Knight Rider.
Knight Riders.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, it's literally just a lieutenant, I'm guessing in like the police force or something. Oh, he plays a lieutenant in both shows?
Oh.
Whoa.
Do you think that for that he would get an honorary lieutenantship?
Yeah. And definitely, could we say he's been typecast? Like, did he ever not play a lieutenant after that? You get typecast.
I'm looking forward to finding out everything about this man.
Yeah. Okay, these are just a few last very quick fun facts. His favorite movie is Dances with Wolves. He was once attacked by a male kangaroo at a wildlife preserve.
Why do they have to specify the sex of the kangaroo? Because getting beaten up by a girl kangaroo would have been for pussies.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Which I know you're being sarcastic, but also hard to disagree. Kangaroos are violent and very strong.
I don't know what the gender differences are between kangaroos, but I have seen like terrifying YouTube videos of kangaroos.
I don't think there is a gender difference is what I'm saying. I think they will fuck you up. Mm-hmm. Especially probably. Mm-hmm. Wait, do you think it was the male because the males hold the babies in their pouch?
They do?
I think so. I think the male.
I think of seahorses.
I could be. I don't know how I would get those two animals confused. Then my theory is not.
Also, I don't see how it would factor in.
Well, because if the male was holding the babies in his pouch, and then David Hasselhoff felt threatening, and he's like
disrupted. Do you think David Hasselhoff disrupted a kangaroo nest?
A family's kangaroo pocket nest. Yeah,
nest.
I do. Last fun fact: he released an album in 2021 called "Party Your Hasselhoff."
So he has a sense of humor.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
He's clever.
Yeah, he seems like a funny, nice guy. But who's to say? We don't know these celebrities in real life.
Yeah.
Also, do you think he has a perm? Or do you think that's his real curl?
I don't know. Because I've met so many men. I spend so much money and time and effort on my hair. I can't go to sleep with it wet. I have to blow dry it. I have to do this. I have to do that. I can't go to certain climates. And I know so many men who just have the most beautiful hair I've ever seen.
And don't.
And I'm like, how did you do that? And they're like, what do you mean? They're like, I used Dove body soap on my hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck.
I used a bar of soap on my
so it's hard for me to say. He might just be blessed with the most beautiful hair in the world.
Huh.
I'm not mad about it, but I'm not sure whether I'm into him or not yet.
Okay. Yeah, only time will tell. And I think there are hotter characters that come in that I'm way more interested in seeing. So I'm looking forward to that. Question.
Yeah.
What are your hopes for the next episode? What are your hopes and dreams? Do you have any predictions?
God, I hadn't even thought to go that far. Well, I hope Al comes back. I hope that was a dream sequence.
No.
Al's back in the mix.
He faked his own death for money.
Yes.
Yeah, for life insurance.
No, he faked his own death to prove to the other lifeguards that they need to stop using so much outrageous age discrimination to try to force him to retire because they'd be lost without him. What do I hope? I hope there's more short shorts. I hope there's more running on the beach. I'm not joking. I was so delighted by every single second of this, and I want to watch 900 more episodes, and I'm absolutely thrilled. So yeah, I hope there's more. I do hope there's a shark attack. If not in the next episode, but like surely we're going to get one.
Yeah. I think we're going to see stuff repeat. I don't think there could be this many episodes of a show and not have similar scenarios revisited.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
in the next episode,
it seems like the actual beach, the lifeguarding takes a real backseat to a bunch of hot 80s people trying to fuck. and that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. All right. Listen, that's why we're doing it.
I'm ZJ Hadley.
And I have been Nicole Mackey.
This has been Baywatchers.
Ooh.
End podcast.